Welcome to the Saturday TopUp, Rosehill, Anzac Day. You'd love to be there. It's a cracking day, and Gord, most of the time, this sort of situation at Rosehill, true rail, dry track would whet your appetite, but a bit trickier today, perhaps.
Trickier because of the form lines, but these are my kind of tracks. Dry, best horses normally win. Advantageous to be up and in, which are the kind of horses I'm generally looking to back. But I found the program tricky, and I haven't had a bet yet. So that says something. So.
Let's say something.
Does say something, doesn't it? Race 1, Safiano is the overnight firmer here. It's the Waller, likely Waller type, but it is 11 up to 14. One trial, one run. Nothing much else to say. GP, have you got any?
I sort of had a good feel
thoughts?
for Safiano yesterday, and I'm not surprised by the support. I still want to watch the prices, watch the parade. It's a scuzzy race, guys. Scuzzy start, tricky.
It should give us a good line this race. I mean,
I think it will, especially if T. Clark crosses on Formentera. We'll get a good line of every horse's ability and how the track's going to play.
I also think Mounting Yard Mail on number 5 will be quite important as well. With the distance it's running over, and a little birdie rang me about this horse too. So.
A little birdie rang you about this horse? What does that actually mean in real terms?
Somebody thinks it's got ability.
It wasn't a bird, it was a person. I want everything politically correct from now on.
Well, I'm not going to go through all I'm still backing all the horses I mentioned in yesterday's paid show, but I'll just mention a couple of
little birdies, a couple of phone calls. I think you better come to the inquiry, Gordon, and bring your fucking phone.
Very good. Okay, race 2, Welsh Legend is the firmer into 550. Not surprisingly, Waller pulled out new arrangement. Torrens going around tomorrow at Tamworth. It's pretty much the race we discussed yesterday. I can't see that. I did point out yesterday that I was interested in the double-digit horses because obviously, the horses that were a touch more exposed up the top are horses that have become, less than admirable. GP, I think you were of that persuasion. Yeah,
less than admirable up the top. Just getting to the firmer, which I know was your tip, and I don't want to bag your tips, Mark.
No, you've been bagging it. You were bagging it yesterday. You're bagging it today. Just go ahead.
Well, it's 18 for 1, Mark.
I know, but it's on a 10-day
Welsh
backup.
Legend we're talking about. It's 18 for 1. The horse below it is 16 for 5. The horse below it is 15 for 4. Winners win and chasers chase. I think it's tricky business.
It's the fascinating point about lining them up, obviously, isn't it?
I suppose it is.
It's less relevant in these numbers middle distance races.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, the horse I'm tipping Law Me In is 24 for 4, and it's at 8 seconds. So there's a bit of herd chasing in that number.
Wheat's firm as well.
Oh, hasn't?
Yeah, well, J Mac from the low draw. We discussed all the intent that was directed to lure me in yesterday.
I got to bite my lip every time I think these days. It's just when you said J Mac from the low draw, just about to crack a joke. I'm just going to keep biting my lip.
Race 3, word for word, same story here, Glenn. Except this one's a J Mac Waller. But word for word is sitting there with the 1 win on Kenzo, went it led all the way, beating the unlucky pin-up miss, who was not
the hateful horse, but J-Mac he's a good rider for hateful horses. He gets stuck in.
A little bit of money for Don and Kim, Gord, you expressed some interest in.
Yeah, still sort of interested in those same numbers. I'm starting to think more now that Grand Piano isn't chewed up, and to give a bit more a tick for it for the fact that Nash gets back on board. But
I think it's definitely a Gord. It's definitely a starting point in the market. You're either 5 to 2 or 7 to 2, aren't you? What price is Grand Piano, Mark?
It's too short now.
No, it's barely. It's not even 5 to 2, but it will be 5 to 2. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
that's 350. That's 350 for you.
Don and Kim is the kind of horse that because it's not exactly blown you away its first couple of starts this preparation, I'd want over $15.
Race 4 in her time is a pronounced favourite. It's Triple D day today, isn't it, Glenn?
Yeah, and it's it used to savage the line once as a younger horse when it was probably 19 for 9. Now it's 30 for 9. It's a different story. It's a bit chewed up and spat out. This is a 7-year-old mare, guys.
Yeah, but look,
It is D-Day. Talented horse. I couldn't possibly be on it.
I think you expressed some interest in Nantali Glen there, which I suppose is it's got a bit of DF, hasn't it? Did turn up here for the all-age last year.
It's a 5-year-old mare with DF. Fresh is best in this type of setup, and I think there's a chance it's best horse in the race. But a little bit of a nonny as well.
Time could end up being my primary on the day.
Okay. All right, so that's your focus there. Fair enough, Gord. Race 5, not a lot happening here. A trickle for Handle the Truth, and pretty much as you were yesterday. I think this is this race. The betting will very much rely upon what's gone ahead in the previous 4 races, whether there's any type of pattern has emerged, because obviously this is a race where some talented horses don't necessarily get good runs, and some less than talented horses do get good runs. Glenn?
Yeah, Mark, I agree with that, and but a hard race to get a handle on. I've got to say that. I'm still interested a little bit in 5 and concerns about 2. I don't know what to make of Alami with it not getting in the low draw album. I think you guys jumped on that yesterday. I think that makes good sense, but I haven't got a great feel for the race.
Yeah, it was mentioned to me, Gord, that Graf had a throat operation. I think, was
any little birdies from Newcastle ring you, Gord?
This one was a little bit of a negative push.
Negative birdie?
You got to love
from another pro, not stable information.
You've got to love the Saturday morning oil, don't you?
So like a big black magpie, not a little birdie.
The voice of doom. The guineas. The guineas, Gord. You got you were hot off the presses there with IndyCar, sold to Hong Kong. Bandersnatch and Rule the World have met with some support. Battlegrounds looking for cover, and Mirror Vision's going back. It's $5 the field at the moment. Ice Bath remains the favourite. Any clarity, Glenn? It's
well, a bit of a giggle. I got to say, I came on the show to do the show yesterday, and I thought, I've got one here no one's going to find, Battleground. And then Gord went on about it, and then you mentioned you like it, and then every tipping show I've watched since yesterday's show, gee, I found one here, Battleground. What's the point of this game?
Yeah.
Oh, like Paul Joyce is tipping it, or someone was tipping it. I've got to say that Paul Joyce is particularly listenable.
Listenable.
That's the word.
Well, I thought his performance on Wednesday was very disappointing.
Okay, but I still think he provides great narrative for horses' chance.
My point
compared,
was,
we haven't got that sort of narrative since we lost Zarafa and Ashman type thing.
Yeah, my problem is that he's not willing to admit to trap bias.
No, he
has got a problem with that.
He's a non-believer, Gord. He's a definite non-believer.
Definite non-believer in that.
Well, I mean, you have a look at Wednesday. Seriously, like, how can you be a non-believer on Wednesday?
Okay,
but
all
the
right.
thing
So
is,
you found a flaw, but I'm saying that in general, I find I
I
enjoy
like
listening to him. Now, I struggle to say that about anybody because I'm such a wanker in life.
Yeah, and
he
get
does
the confirmation.
perform completely different to me as well. I like that.
I like listening to Mark Guest, but he mainly does Melbourne stuff, But I like listening to Paul Joyce, which I find really odd because, I don't know, just looking at him, I can't imagine I'd like him, but
he's not a bad bloke, man.
He seems like a nice man.
He likes inside barriers and light weights. So he's going to find different horses to us three.
Yeah, I know.
Of course, the confirmation bias on Wednesday, Gord, was Miyake, who has come from the back, and I don't know how Paul's probably using that as an example of, well, you can come from anywhere, but I mean that was an Avdallah using the bias to get home.
That's an absolute Canterbury PR.
It's beauty's in the eye of the beholder. Okay, well, so I can't say anything further about that Guineas. The penultimate is the Hawkesbury Cup. And I should mention that Dave Dwyer is betting to win 10 at 110% from 11:30 on the quaddie legs. Amangiri and Live and Free tighteners here. I must say, I know that Live and Free has been touted a little bit off the trials, but Gord, he's not usually a first up horse, isn't he? Isn't he? Don't you go looking for him second up?
I found 2 runs first up that were quite good, but I am very surprised about the price of this horse. Off the trials and it being first up and not fully wound up yet. I think this could be a bit of a weight price.
Yeah, I guess so. Collection of yuck horses, really, Glenn.
Yeah, awful, or hateful horses is the word.
But I mean, get ready for winter. Like, it's not going to get any better than this.
No, it's going to be numbers-a-thon. I'm warming to Brimham Rocks over Knox, guys. I know Mark mentioned it yesterday a bit on the show, but
Well, he was competitive in a Caulfield Cup, and then he's raced up on the speed in a ferocious Bendigo Cup at his last start, and it just seemed odd that that Chris has resumed him here with J-Mac. It just seemed like a horse that was crying out to do something fresh. I don't know. I mean, he shouldn't, but it's a race where you are looking for anything.
Well, it's up for grabs for sure.
And the last race, Miss Einstein has trimmed her quote. She's into $6 around the place. Really interesting race. I guess it's, again, Triple D day for True Detective. You watch the replay, put up the replay over the discussion yesterday, and you're watching Glyn checking off shadows there in the Royal Sovereign, and it's easy to get excited about seeing it in this race with J Mac on board back home.
Yeah, very easy to get excited. 6 from 11 for me. Looks 2 runners.
This is going to be a primary play for me now. Number 6, True Detective.
You got the 2 primaries today. True Detective. What was the other one again, Gord?
In Her Time.
In Her Time. Okay.
All right. Yeah. So I mean, they're slightly vexatious horses in that they've been disappointing, but they.
Do you have any other bets
kitchen
besides?
Sinks.
Will you have many other bets besides them, Gord, on the day?
No, I'll be betting mainly in Gosford and Bathurst.
Okay, so if one of those 2 wins, you'll probably win on the day. If they both win, you'll win on the day. And if they both get beat, you'll probably lose.
Well, it depends on Gosford and Bathurst.
Okay. I'm just trying to get inside your head.
Yeah.
So
I want some little birdies to ring me.
Subscribers can get in the chat room where any changes will be any tactics changes from the rant team might be notified. Don't forget that if you're not a member, that you can get the first 2 weeks for free. Just come and have a look at it. We've got a lot of content, and as I say, access to that chat room, 4 videos a week, and full coverage of every Sydney Metro meeting. We've got pedigree information, and
Great chat room.
Great chat room.
Great chat room.
And also
everybody
we got
watch Gosford race 2 today. Let's see if I can pick one off the trials, because this is one of the best trials I've seen in a while. A horse called Midlands. We talked about it about 2 weeks ago. Could be very interesting.
All right, we'll leave it at that, because that will be a great sign-off, Gord, if you can get that one home. We'll be back on Monday for members with the rant. See you then.
See you guys.